Welcome to the northeast of England for the 5th annual North City Games. 11 events make up the programme today, featuring track, field and road. Joining me in commentary today will be Tim Hutchings. But first, let's join the women's 100-metre hurdles, featuring Olympic champion Sally Pearson. Let's have a look at that lineup, and that's the full length of 100 metres over the hurdles. So Harper Nelson, Tiffany Porter, Sally Pearson and Flore Okori of France. Last little look down the 10 flights. Look how close the crowd are to some of the world's greats in track and field. Well, Pearson certainly leading at the moment. Harper Nelson very close down, and these two away from the rest of the field. Pearson looks to me to be going away, and look at this from Tiffany Porter in the final stage, but Pearson's got this one. Tiffany Porter second, Harper Nelson third, 12.68 plus 1.7 metres per second, so a little bit of wind assistance for that, but that on this occasion Sally Pearson will have enjoyed that. She lost her last two outings against Dawn Harper Nelson. She got a very good start, very powerful start, but a very strong second half of the race from Tiffany Porter of Great Britain there to bring herself back into second place.
Well, watch Dawn Harper Nelson to the right of picture. She's had the black hand over Sally Pearson the last couple of races, but she stumbles there halfway through the races. Harper Nelson loses her rhythm completely, goes backwards, loses 3 metres, and that's a fabulous run from Pearson. Some of the frustration that's been very evident with her defeats at the hands of Harper Nelson over the last couple of weeks being unleashed there. She'll be really, really pleased with that win, and that's a good time, Stuart, too, 12.68.
Yes, it is, and you can see Pearson looks very strong, good trail leg, works off the hurdle very, very well. She'll have enjoyed that. Sally Pearson then 12.67, Tiffany Porter 12.85, Dawn Harper Nelson 12.98, and Reina Flore Okori in 4th place.
It was really nice to win that race today. Unfortunately, Dawn had a few hitting the hurdles a bit, so that was a bit unfortunate for her. But it was so good to come away with the win for my last race, well, second last race of the season, but last competition. And it's fantastic to be doing it here in front of this crowd. I really hope you have a great appreciation of what we do, because we really appreciate putting on the show for you guys. So thank you for coming out.
13 athletes in this lineup, Stuart. They are all racing, no pacemakers in road miles, of course. Hannah England, though, 3 times winner of this event, the Oxford City athlete, won here in 2009, 2010 and 2011. It's a high caliber field. Also look out for Ailish McColgan, the youngster, the 22-year-old, whose mother, of course, Liz McColgan, was one of the all-time greats of British distance running back in the 80s and 90s. She ran a big personal best for 3,000 metres just last week, last Sunday in fact, in Rieti down in Italy. So she's strong, and it's athletes like that, like Chamos perhaps, the steeplechaser, who might want to take this out in the first half and make it a really honest, hard run 1 mile race rather than a sit and kick affair where the speedsters have a better chance. Thomas is no slouch and is not afraid of racing, and I think feels this is a chance really, Stuart, to prove what could have been this year. She's a huge talent, a very late developer, leading at the moment, the Wakefield Harriers athlete. At the age of 31, she really only came to the fore a couple of years ago when she won the European team championship in a very wet Stockholm Olympic Stadium so impressively. But she's made sure these first few 100 metres are run at a good crisp clip, and I hope this is maintained.
Yes, indeed, Chamos, the world steeplechase champion, just takes it on. But the point I think one ought to make is that there are so few of the athletes in this field who have actually run a 1 mile race in the past. Of course, McColgan is steeplechase, Chamos is steeplechase, and then of course you've got a sprinkling of 800 metre runners as well, and it's a very, very mixed field indeed. Obiri on the left would be one of the favourites for me, and Hannah England, the tall blonde figure on the right of your shot, who's done so well in the championship, silver medalist of course in the World Championships in 2011 and 4th this year. She's always there or thereabouts in these championships, and a lot of credit to her. 4:31 her season's best, incidentally, for the mile. She's one of the, 5 athletes in this whole field have actually run a mile. So it's new territory for a lot of them.
Well, they weave their way along that north bank of the Tyne, with Thomas still leading. O'Beary there to the left of picture. Flailing arms, O'Beary, the little Kenyan. Not a tidy runner, is she? Look out too for Kaiken there in second place, just tucked in behind Charlene Thomas. The Susan Kaiken, 8th in the World Championships at 1,500 metres. Great recent form, including a huge personal best for her too, like McColgan in Rieti last Sunday over 3,000 metres. So there's several athletes here who are still very much on top of their game. One or two of them will be more than entitled to be feeling pretty tired. Indeed, in the background there you can see Jenny Meadows struggling to go with this pace, even with only 2 3/4 minutes on the clock.
Just looking down at notice that Morgan Useni is running very wide in that yellow vest, wide, and she's very close to O'Beary, of course, who tripped her up in the World Championships of 2011. But she's one of those that so many misfortunes with the World Championships and, of course, the Olympics and with falls. So, you know, she'll want to stay wide, and she's learned many lessons slowly, I have to say that. But she's one who's got a best of 4:27 in the mile, a couple of seasons ago. But no change at the moment.
They went through the quarter mile in 71 seconds. It hasn't really slowed in the middle of the race, and now they're in effect in the home straight. 3.5 minutes on the clock, and O'Beary pushing hard there in the pink, second from left. 3/4 of a mile in around 3:30. So it's not going to be a particularly quick one, this. Certainly Hannah England to the right of picture looks like she's struggling a little bit at the moment, although she's still in contact. There's still, 7 or 8 athletes there, including Laura Waitman, the local girl, the Olympic finalist last year, right in the centre there now, coached by Steve Cram, who had an injury in the middle of the summer at the UK Championships. Dreadful luck there to miss the World Championships, or at least not go to the World Championships in good form. But as they begin to wind it up now, in this last couple of 100 metres, it's O'Beary at the front. Chamos is still there in about 4th place. Looking strong at the moment is Useni. The American onto the track now, 100 metres to go. Who's got the speed? Certainly Jackson's got the 800 metre pace, but has she got the stamina as Useni now pushes for the line? O'Beary in 3rd place looks spent. This is a good run from Laura Waitman, some consolation at the end of a tough season from her. But Morgan Useni of the USA, striding clear and looking a little bit like her old self. This is more like it for Morgan Useni, and she's going to take this by 3 metres from Laura Waitman. Hannah England coming through late for 3rd place there. The winning time, 4:33.97. It's not particularly quick. The record for this great North City Games mile is 4:29 by Kelly Holmes. That was back in 2004 when she was in her pomp. But that nonetheless, a real turn-up.
Morgan Useni, 4:33.97. Laura Waitman, a personal best at 4:34.63, and Hannah England in 3rd place. The men's 150 metres. Ellington, Great Britain. Rogers, USA. Collins of St Kitts and Nevis, and Clark of Great Britain. Ellington on the right of your picture in lane 1. Rogers in 2. Collins 3. Clark in lane 4. Rogers and Collins very quick, and Collins has certainly got the lead as they come out of the blocks, and he's absolutely flying, and Chris Clark going well on the near side. But here comes Rogers, and Rogers goes through on him. He is going to be very, very close. Rogers gets it. Collins in 2nd place, yes, and Ellington in 3rd place. And Chris Clark, I think, has pulled up just off my shot. And if so, that's unfortunate because he's had his injury problems. But what a second half of the race by Mike Rogers. 14.91. It's only just outside of the British best, which is 14.87 a mile on Devonish. But look at that for a start. Collins always starts well, so does Rogers. Chris Clark on the near side must have pulled up. He wasn't on my shot at all. And look at the way, the second half of the race, that Rogers moves away, powers himself. 2nd in Brussels behind Bolton. He showed that sort of form here again. Terrific run by Rogers there. Mike Rogers, 14.90. Kim Collins, 15.03. Ellington, 15.32. And Chris Clark pulled up.
There's the lineup. Aline Bailey, Margaret Adoye, Bianca Williams, Ashley Nelson for the women's 100 metres. So 3 Britons, with just Aline Bailey to the right of picture there in 1 from Jamaica. Good start from Adeoye, and all on the near side, Ashley Nelson really going well in the pink. They've got some chasing to do, the rest of them. She's leading this one, and she's going to take it by a comfortable margin here. Coming back is Bailey on the far side, but that 11.51 from Ashley Nelson into a slight headwind, can you believe? Goodness me, it really has turned around quite dramatically over the last 20-25 minutes. A very, very impressive run, and she led from the gun too, started well, the pickup was great over the first 20, and they never really got a chance to come back at her.
Just looking at the start again, she does get away well. Her transition into upright running is absolutely super. She's obviously coached well and making full use of that. Second half of the race, very, very good indeed, really working hard. Bailey, of course, the Jamaican, now 32, got a best of 11.19 this season, so that's a very, very good result indeed.
11.50 then, the winning time for Ashley Nelson, that women's 100 metres. Ahead of Aileen Bailey from Jamaica, 11.56, with Adeoye and Williams in 3rd and 4th.
Well, the pole vault finished earlier. Let's catch up with the outcome. This is Bjorn Otto, the bronze medalist in the World Championships this year, Olympic silver medalist, passed at 5.10 and took this 5 metre 30 on his first attempt. Good athlete, would have won so much more if it hadn't been for the Frenchman La Villenie. But Luke Cutts, they just missed selection for the World Championships, got the qualifying just after the date, cleared 5.10. This is a second attempt at 5 metres and 30, which took him back into competition with Bjorn Otto. Otto, though, in the lead at this stage. They both passed at 5 metres and 40, incidentally, and Luke Cutts had one failure at 5 metres and 50, and of course Otto had a failure also. But this is a second attempt then for Luke Cutts, the UK champion. A very, very good clearance indeed. Took him well into the lead. Conditions good, and Bjorn Otto now a real problem for a 6 metre vaulter at his best. 2 failures, this is his 3rd and final attempt at 5 metres and 50. It was nowhere near, his approach not right, so he's gone from the competition. It means that Great Britain's Luke Cutts was the winner. 5 metres and 50, Otto 5.30 and Straub 5.10.